And I had one viewer where the person is probably more schizophrenic than narcissistic, so it's a lot different on how you handle things. I did a personality test at work, and it was pretty interesting. The different 4 different types of personalities that are out there, and the differences of how we need to interact with those people. Uh, like I'm a yellow personality, and we have different needs, different wants. And so for a yellow personality like myself, my core motive, according to this, and also there's some overlapping things too, where the different personalities, and feel free to interact with me. I'm talking and I'm still helping if you need something, but the different personalities to interact with each other, for us to empathize and understand, we have to understand them. Otherwise, we're empathizing with the wrong personality. So they're going to take it a different way. So our narcissists are vulnerable, or they're grandiose, and that's way different than how our needs are. So for me, I'm fun, enthusiastic, optimistic. My key behaviors are happy, spontaneous, and charismatic, which uh, for the key behaviors of the red category is, which I'm based on my knowledge, I'm thinking that's what the narcissist is. They're assertive, proactive, responsible, and not everybody in the red category will be narcissistic, but I'm kind of like happy, free going, and they're assertive, and trying to figure out how to make the abuse stop. Uh, yeah, I had a daughter too with mine. Gosh, what kind of abuse are you going through? Because if it's mine, never really were like harshly, specifically, like you fat ass, you fuckhead. They weren't like that, but mine, second one, we had a daughter together, and when I met him, I wore a size 13, got down to a size 7, got pregnant, gained 55 pounds. It was all button thighs. I still had a flat stomach. My stomach was flatter than his, but it changed my hips. So I got down to a size 5. So he knew me from size 13 to a size 5. And he thought that I was too thin at size 5. But he complimented me like, this is a picture I like, you look the best at, but your thighs are a little bit thick. And it's like, I keep my body thin because otherwise I'm off balance. And it's like, they can't just give you a nice compliment. So he never called me a fat ass, but was never happy and focused on my weight way too much. Cause yeah, it's just an insecurity about him. He was a bodybuilder. Um, Verbally and mentally abusive. Yeah, pretty much all narcissists will be mentally abusive. Uh, and controlling. That's really hard. Mine was more the unspoken control, where I reacted to him. But as far as them being controlling, this is hard because they don't like to hear what we are trying to say. They'll take it as a personal attack. So the controlling part, you're going to have to talk through it and ask to agree to certain expectations, that this is what, and you can give them, this is what works in the school. Okay, I'm a teacher, and I've realized, like, when you're talking with a narcissist, you really kind of have to treat them like a child, subtly, like without them really realizing. So what works for us, if we say go sit down, it doesn't work. But if we say, you can sit down, or you can read a book for 5 minutes, and you got to give them options. So you can say, look, I can either cook, or I can go to the football game. I can't do both. You can give them an option. Um, if I had a little bit better the controlling part. If you can let me know a little bit more about that, how he's controlling. But the verbal abuse, you just have to say, I will not tolerate you talking to me like that, and use it in your own words. But when you start saying, it really hurts my feelings, when you say that, you start feeling, they start seeing you as weak. So you have to say, you cannot talk to me that way. It has to stop. I will not interact with you until you talk to me the right way. Instead of because we're trying to be soft. We don't want to sound like an asshole. We don't want to sound like a mother or father. We just want to interact with them, but it doesn't work. I mentioned something in a video I had before where we were going round and round with my second one. And it was like ridiculous because they won't answer your question. It gets so frustrating. Or if they do answer it, it's so off topic. Or the word salad and everything. And I just had to say, effective communication. I need effective communication. Kind of like saying, I'm not playing these games. Yeah, that's a hard one. Gosh. See, luckily mine were assholes, but not like what you're going through. My best friend is going through what you're going through. Oh gosh. You got the kids involved. Really, really think about what you're doing. Is it healthy for you and is it healthy for them? So, yeah, and it gets confusing. So I'm going to relate it to my best friend's man. She's on disability, doesn't have the money to really go. So she's codependent on him. She does love him, kind-hearted woman, but some of it she blows off. And when you blow it off, it's in a sense giving him permission to continue. And she's my best friend, so I talk to her. And because when I go over, he's there, I kind of have a acquaintance type friendship with him. But I hear how he talks and I try to redirect it and to get him to kind of see both ways. Yes, they will triangulate. And you just got to, and it's going to be hard. Ask them, do you see any issues with this? Or can we talk about it? And it sucks because when you want to talk about it, they feel that we're coming there saying they're a bad person. And just say that I have some suggestions on how we can change this for the kids' sake to where we're not yelling as much. And I've noticed a couple things, but it's hard to connect with them. So when things are great, like we'll call him, well, you guys don't know who he is. His name is Ron. So when things are good, like Ron's fine, but something will trigger him. And I'm sure your husband does that too, where something stupid will trigger it. And it just goes off on all these tangents from before, all the abuse that she takes on. He's controlling. So he gets frustrated about the way she cleans or when she cleans. She can't win because he's bitching about cleaning the house. So then she cleans it, and then it's not the right time for her to clean it. And he wants her to cook, but then he bitches about her food. And yeah. It's nice that the kids stand up for you. But I'm hoping they don't become targets too, because when the narcissist, the more time goes on without addressing the issues, the more the dynamics get off, because you're going to go through some frustrations in life. And as the kids get older, they're going to, as teenagers, we start standing up for ourselves a little bit more, and it's going to get more heated because they're the children. He's going to see as I need to be in control. He's already in that controlling mode, king of the castle. So these princes, your beautiful sons, are going to start being his equal. And that's, yeah, if you're going to stay with him, it has to be addressed. If it can't be fixed, it will cause damage. And I know my second Uh, he was a narcissist, but he stayed in his marriage longer than he wanted for the kids. She probably did too. And he left right after the kids graduated. So they were living a lie for over a decade. And the kids, this is the thing from the kids, is they were like, yeah, I mean, we saw it coming, like about time we thought you'd do it sooner. And his whole thing, like throughout probably 8 years of it, is like, I don't want to hurt the kids and it's better for the kids and I need to be there. And his daughter isn't talking to him really. So it hasn't helped with a better relationship. Uh, so it damages the relationship um, between the parent. Now he is the narcissist. I don't know the ex-wife, but staying for the kids' sake. And there's a lot of kids out there like, I wish you guys would have broken up, especially the way he blows up. Mine did a lot of the silent treatments, but um okay, yeah, be careful. Yeah, he's physical. He is physical. So has he ever hit? Well, I'm glad I'm here for you. Yeah, because it's hard. This crazy. I'm glad there's a reason that the timing was just right for us today because I feel your pain. But physical abuse, like that's not cool. Um, Once a push, then a shove. He sees you as weaker than him. As women, we usually are, but still, even if somebody's weaker, they shouldn't be pushing. That's a childlike thing. Like their emotional state is like a child. And Friday, I had to break up a fight, and it was over one kid. They're standing in line, and one kid just kind of brought his foot here, and that irritated him, and they start punching. So when the narcissist gets into that childlike mode, they react like children. They can restrain depending on how irritated they are. So I'm sure you've seen with your relationship with your person is they're restrained, like let's say you spill the milk. They'll probably do something. They'll probably yell at you. But if they're on their way out the door, they have other distractions. So they're just going to yell at you, call you stupid, or whatever they're going to do and go out the door. But if it's something more stressful, like my boss, my best friend, my mother is coming over for dinner. Now you fucked this up. So they're going to start to get even more angrier. And that's when the reaction is going to be more extreme. Yeah. Oh, he did take a swing though. That's definitely a warning sign. Um, yeah, the grabbing the face, that's definitely the dominant. Um, like I have to control you right now. So if he starts feeling like he's losing control, um, you probably settled in to what he expected. But if you talked back at that time, you probably would have gotten hit. You probably um, kind of took it like, okay, I'm not going to argue because he got your attention. But what is he like around the guys, or at the bar, or when there's another outspoken male? Does he get physical? Is he a physical fighter? And I know with I set this up early with my first one. He is so strong he could bench like 550 pounds. So we just had the no spanking. I know some parents will spank, but even just a little tap, not necessarily an abusive spank, but I didn't want him losing his cool and not knowing his strength or doing it too many times, to where boom, 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 when it should have just been a little spank. So luckily he's never done that. There's one time he did bring me to the uh, bed out of his way, kind of like, sit down, I'm going to talk to you. But it was a harsh one, but I never went through the physical stuff. But it'd be interesting to see how he is, so I can kind of evaluate his aggression. Sometimes we're lucky that we're female, to where they will respect that. But if he's already, I don't know, I don't know if he's a narcissist. 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 I don't know if he's a narcissist That's I don't know. He sounds mine were grandiose. Yours sounds vulnerable to me. So he keeps to himself, but doesn't really choose to be alone. So does he want more interaction, or does he feel nobody likes him? Is it the poor pity me? Like I might as well go do my own thing. Nobody gives a fuck. Um, so okay, okay. So if he's in, I see what you're trying to say. If he's introverted and chooses to stay alone, yeah, that's my neighbor is more like your husband. I know not several, either they're narcissists or narcissistic people, narcissistic. So this is so weird. Because we're neighbors, I still interact with him. Same with my neighbor. So he just got back together with this girl. So a lot of times there's a flip-floppy, unstable, and he just got back together with her and gave her a ring. I think this is the first time they made it official. And he's like, well, she better appreciate that. If not, da da da. And it's really special to me. And if not, like he says some aggression type things. He's awkward around people too. So he's learned. It's like we all desire love. Some can't handle it. They can't handle it, but he desires it. And when it's real, he can't handle it. So the hating people is because he hates himself. It's like a projection. It's like a reverse. I did a video on the reverse thinking of the narcissist. They see things. I also said, like, when we look at things with our eyes, our brain flips it upside down, or it comes to us upside down and our brain flips it and we understand it the right way. They understand it the wrong way. I'd be really careful with how aggressive they are. Good. I'm glad you understand what I'm trying to say. But man, I have this turkey in the oven. I got to check on it pretty soon. But I'm enjoying talking to you. I want to get to give you some like advice on how to. Okay, so this is going to give you some advice. His needs and wants, okay, are going to be more about being right. He wants to be respected. So when you talk to him, you have to watch your words that you, and I'm sure you do, but be a little more aware because people twist things the wrong way. Just like there are certain triggers that we have. Uh, like I mentioned, it sounds stupid, but like for me, I'm very thin, but I have a big butt. um, and so people are that's like the thing now. You want a big butt, or I have thicker thighs, and it's a mild insecurity. But when people are like, "Man, you got a fat ass," meaning PHAT, or even just guys will say that, I like your thick thighs, and they're trying to compliment me, but it still I don't like it. And I know they're trying to be nice, but little triggers like that, I don't go off on people. But something within him, you have to understand what you say, because if you're like, man, you got a nice ass, it's so big and plump, or something like that, where I'll feel disrespected as an analogy. So you have to know what his triggers are. So you might think you're complimenting him, but based on his life experiences. So Uh, yeah, let me just go check on that. I keep typing so people, I don't like leaving. Oh, I'm in the middle of this. Let me go check real quick. I'll be real. It takes me 2 minutes. Okay, la 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 la. I see you. That's cute. So I'm not sure if it's done. It's gonna be done pretty soon, but I noticed some of the skin was over the pop-up timer. So maybe it's done and it's just it was like trapped. But he wants to look good intellectually. This is Ron, my best friend's man. Whew, so if you come to him with facts, let me know you're still there. If you come to him with facts, um, that's hard. You have to make him think that the solution is what he wants, and give him options. So he has power in the decision. And ask him, what are your suggestions? How can we make it better? These are the two options I have. Let's pick one. Give him that first. Let's pick one. And then if he doesn't pick one, say, okay, let's add another option to it. And we have to compromise. So let's take the pieces that work. He has to be willing to talk to you. Is he willing to talk to you? Because Ron is really hard-headed. And yeah. So they enjoy this. This could be like a bonding thing. They like to enjoy challenging adventures. They like to please self, and they like to be a leader. So it is a very dominant type of person. And if you think, let's say you had a healthy relationship with your father, and your dad's like, you are not going out on a date. And you're like, well, I'm 15 and a half, almost 16. The other girls are, I'm a virgin. I know whatever. And he's a good person. Like, no matter what you say, your dad's going to say no. No matter how much you say that, or as an example, because everybody 14, 12, whatever you guys think is right. I'm just using it as an example that no matter how much you're like trying to get your way and it makes sense, there's going to be a chaperone. It's a church related activity. I just want to go with Joshua. And it's going to be no. So it's like he's in this power position, and to try and take back your power, you're going to have to say, look, we have to work on this. And gosh, are you wanting to stay with this person? And if you can tell me why. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes we like to escape what's hurting us. And narcissists love to do things quickly too. And it's also the narcissist preys on that. Yeah. And yeah, you were missing something too. So you latched on, which is kind of codependent. Um, are you working? Do you have your own money? I know sometimes women stay at home, men can too, but sometimes people stay because of the money. But I see you're taking notes. Gosh. Yeah, and him hating people. There's a lot of hate going on, and he's introverted because he's protecting himself. And extroverts are trying to be noticed. So extroverts are more grandiose, or at least, yeah, whether it's because my first one was pretty mellow and quiet. My second one was like the life of the party. So they can be all different kinds. But he is reminding me a lot of Ron, my best friend's guy, because they were both in situations they needed somebody to help with the money, and they're in open relationships, but they both have their own self-esteem issues to where there's really not other opportunities, but they agreed to it. They have had dabbled in a couple things, but I kind of wonder on that too, like, some spice of life, I guess. But yeah, I kind of had a feeling you weren't working. And aw, so you're a teacher too, in a way. I know. I had the hardest time with that. It's hard when yeah, it doesn't sound like you want to go back home with mom and dad and for you. And this is the thing. Now come move in with me. I got 2 empty rooms. Um, gosh. Yeah. How old's the youngest? I have a feeling fairly young. That's the thing. We have to, I don't know, if they're physical, you cannot go through physical abuse. And you're going to kind of get yourself trapped, because if you stay another 2, 3 years and nothing changes, now if something changes, it's different. Come on over. And yeah, wouldn't that be cool? You should do it with me one time if you want. I will do it. Oh, you might not want it out there since you guys are still together, but it'd be kind of cool to interview you and have like a duel. But if you leave them, we can do that. I knew there was a 2-year-old. Okay. Yeah. I can understand that. Sometimes when the kids, we got to remember too, when the kids are at school, the kids are at school. We don't really see them then. But yeah, I know I can completely understand the need to be with my kids, but you capitalize that. And there's a reason you capitalized it, because some of it's the maternal instinct, but some of it is it's filling a void. We all need to be loved. It's okay to need that. It is okay to need that. But you might be scared of the unknown. You are committed, so your mind's not thinking about other possibilities. Oh, you do. Oh my gosh. Feel free to post it. Plug yourself. Give yourself a shout out. Tell us at your channel. Yeah, feel free. I don't care. That's great. I like to support you guys. I know what it's like to need to. Is it a need or a want? Because I think you mean need. And I wanted to be with my daughter, but I went through 4 custody battles, so I had to work to pay for those. $190,000 in court because my ex did everything. Probably shouldn't have just told you that. Because you're like, there's no way to pay for that. My ex was a state cop, so it's going to be different for you. But yeah, it gets scary, the cost, because you figure, would he be the type to take everything, or would he? Yeah. Yeah, so he came from probably a narcissistic family, and gosh. Oh, see, yeah. My ex, I got like a uterine infection after I had my daughter, and I was so sick. Had to go to the hospital, get an IV. Kept calling up at the hospital because he said, I'll only watch her if nobody else can. Because my mom was out of town, my sister was out of town, and or my mom was sick. I can't remember the story, but neither were available. And he kept calling up to the hospital. And I had to have him take the IV out. And I'm like, I got to go get my daughter. He had, we were broken up at that time, but he had a girlfriend over there. And luckily, I mean, we never liked the new supply, but she did a good job watching the kid. But I come home or to his house and he's washing 2 dogs. She's watching our daughter. And at the end, he smacks my butt as I'm getting in the car, like a flirtatious. And it's like, you broke up with me. I needed this medical attention. I come, and then you're flirting. Like you, I don't know. So, yeah, you got it tough. Ooh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, when I was going through my custody battle, my attorney was pregnant and she miscarried because of the stress. Like she really cared about me and she wanted to do her best job. We had a really good relationship, my attorney and I, and stress can cause miscarriages. I think that's why I miscarried too, because of the stress with my person. And stress can affect us in ways sometimes we don't even realize, but it causes diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, so many different things. Depression, and it's changing our brain chemistry. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go. I can check back. Maybe, I don't know. I have company coming. But, oh, yay. Yay. I'm glad he's here for us. Yeah, miscarriages are terrible. So you got lucky. So Samantha, that's your YouTube channel, Samantha Claus. I'm not sure how you say it. Close. I wish I knew how to pronounce it. Oh, good. Okay. So what was I going to say in closing? Yeah, people, go check her channel out. There you go. Right. Oh, what was it that? Okay. Close. Huh. Okay. I'm learning a new language today. What type of name is that? Do you know? It's not German. I don't know. What's a Z? Oh, what is that? Polish? What's a Z? Hungarian. Okay, so I just learned some Hungarian today. I wanted to say something before we go. About I want you to think about this while you stay with this person. You see what his parents did to him and how he is. Do you want your kids like that? Also, how I mentioned that it changes our brain. I have some videos on that. As far as the brain damage that happens to us, we need to rewire it. We don't want it to be permanent because otherwise we're going to start turning narcissistic. And it's going to destroy our lives. So like I said, give them some options. Do it. It's almost like you got to match it, but you have to match it carefully. So for us, how I was going over this, like, what do we need? Keys to relating is we need praise, appreciation, positive, upbeat approach. We want to hear, hey, what do you think? We can do this to make things better. Like, why don't we start having dinner every Friday? Wouldn't that be great? Like, that would get us like, oh, we're loved. Or this is at least for me. So for them, they want facts and figures, logic, not emotional. When you talk to him, match him. He wants logic. We need to make a difference because the kids are wetting the bed more now, or the kids are, or even just focus on yourself. So he's not angry at the kids, but be direct, brief, and specific. So for me, I got real wordy. A lot of times that's because they go into that ghosting and silent treatment to where you're like, oh, I have to say it 18 different ways so they understand it. Just say, look, I can't handle the way you yell at me. What are we going to change? And that's it. Like, we're used to, like, it hurts my feelings and it gets loud and then I get a headache and I can't concentrate. And I love you so much. Like, I really love you and I want this to work for us. You have to be like, look, This isn't acceptable. It's not acceptable when you yell at me. We need to change it. You can offer me some suggestions, or I can tell you what I need. And it's kind of like a dicky way to talk. But just like with the kids at school, where I'm like, sweetheart, you're kind of frustrating me and I need you to focus. And it's a little bit dangerous for the other kids when you're walking around with scissors. No, clear logic. Sit down. I don't want anybody getting hurt. And you got to talk a little different. But just be prepared. He'll see the power in you. And it's going to scare him a little bit. But if you don't show him that power, he's going to continue doing what he's doing. So I hope I was helpful. Yeah, it's you're right. It does need to be that way. So I'll tell you what, I'd love to talk more. I can log back in tomorrow night. I'll plan on 6, 7, or 8 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you are. I don't mind logging in. Yeah, tomorrow's Monday. Anytime after 4:30, if you want to tell me a time. If not, I'll just kind of hope to see you. You can tell me the time zone too, and I'll translate it. I don't think you're in Hungary, are you? I'm hungry. Turkey's almost ready. I'm Hungarian too. Ohio. Oh, cool. I'm eating my hair. Maybe we'll meet up one day at Walmart or something. I go through Ohio. 4:30. I will see you tomorrow, and I look forward to it. Go ahead and give me some examples or some questions or some insight on some things. And I look forward to that. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much, Samantha. And awesome. I will see you then. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.